Hello everyone, Sivak here and welcome. I decided to let's play my own game, Battleship 2, Mountain of Torment, first released December 15th, 2012. As of this recording, it's been a year since the release, and just like with the first game, I decided to make a commentary on the whole game and talk about my experiences with the development side of things. I've been looking forward to doing this. Maybe and hopefully you'll learn a thing or two. So anyway, let's start the game. Okay, so here we go. We're looking at the intro cutscene here, recapping the ending of the first game, Fight with the Super Mech, and we have a little bit of the fight music in there as well. Yeah, this sequence took quite a while to make, that little animation there. It wasn't like hard to do, just kind of tedious to get all the graphics in place, but I was happy with how it came out. And then here, we're just having a look at the game's cutscene engine. One of the things I was pretty proud of, how it came out in the final game. It was very versatile, easy to move graphics around, flip them around and such. And coming up here will be a shot of Chester Donovan, the antagonist who was only briefly seen in the first game and also briefly seen here. I love how the art came out with this game though. All the cutscenes. The artist, Armin, did a really great job, so I was happy to have him. And let's let this finish out here. Not much else. Yeah, the final slide with the purple stuff. Yeah, not too much else to say about the intro here. Let's let it finish and then we'll get to the main game. Title screen. Compiled July 28th, 2012. Alright, we're going to make this interesting, just like with the first game, just play through. And G1 City, a nice little nod to the screw attack there. And here we go. We're going into the intro. Unlike first game, you can actually advance these cutscenes at your will. That was a thing that a few people had complained about in the first game. So, not much else. Communication unit, replacing the terminal from the first game. Yeah, there's not much else to really say about this particular scene. We're just going to get through this. Okay. And teamy ship landing there. So let's see, what can we say? Yeah, about the one thing a few people wondered is why you have to pause and press select to bring this up. And basically it's because it was easier to do that way in terms of programming. Like something happened with, like when you press select and then like some of the graphics got messed up, like the sprites, and then you'd have to leave the room and reset it to get them fixed, and I don't know why that was happening, so I just came up with this method where it would lock the sprites, so it worked. So that's the main thing that was can't talk. That was the main thing I was concerned with, just getting it to work correctly. So, all right, intro stage. This got put into the game pretty late. I would say probably when I had most of the main base made. Yeah, it's just something I came up with as a way to ease players into the game, as opposed to the first game, which started out a little bit tough in the first game. So hopefully people found this to be a nicer way to get into the game, like with the more progressive difficulty. Here we have Sniper, one of the new enemies of the game. And aiming bullets was something that took some work to get right. Just some math involved with doing that, but it wasn't too bad. I was happy how easy it was to get it after it worked. Okay, let's just get through this here. And unlike the first game, you don't have to actually close a text box every time you use a save point. And we got our first boss, introduction to one of the antagonists. So, just a small note, in the first game, you can actually see the shadows of these characters in the first slide. We had plans for them. Wasn't fully developed, but it was there since the beginning. So we'll just get through this easy fight here. Yeah. So just like with the stage, we want an easy fight to keep things simple. And I was shooting the other way there. There we go. Okay, so coming up here is a kind of an awkward moment where she escapes. Those of you who have the boxed copy of the game with the art booklet, you can kind of see one possible idea we had was like a little animation, but I just wound up not doing it. Like, she just was supposed to teleport to the ship, and I was going to try to maybe show it a little bit better than what it is in the game, but I just came up with this. So, and then there's use of German in the game. I used to study German in the past, so I stuck a few lines in the game. Nothing critical to the plot, of course, but just a few. So, you know, this was saying like goodbye, and then Rotznaza, her little name for Timmy. Basically, kind of means like snot-nosed kid, if you literally translate it. But yeah. So there we go. We'll finish this up here. Originally, for the intro stage, you had to actually walk back to your ship and then leave the stage. That was in the original demo, and a few people didn't like that for whatever reason. It's not like it was hard to do, but I don't know, they just wanted the stage to end, so I decided to do that. So there we go. And Dishcorp, the building. Alright, so this is setting up the main story of the game. So, coming up we'll have the slide of the antagonists, so I'll talk about them in a moment. So, let's just get to that. The name Shomek is just it's a Dragonlance anagram of Chemosh, the deity, one of the evil deities. So I just did that kind of like with the first game. Bakalai, the fortress name of Ilikob, so the anagrams going on there. Alright, and then we're looking at our antagonist here. So the inspiration for both of these characters came from Deus Ex. I love that game, and I took a how can I say? The characters Anna Navarre and Gunther Hermann. So I just kind of reversed their nationalities and made some characters loosely based on them. So in this case, Crofty, her last name, is the way that's pronounced. Of course, to an English person that can look like crafty, the word, but no, Crofty. I'm kind of sounding like in Young Frankenstein. It's pronounced Frankenstein. No. But yeah, that name Croft means power, and then the IE kind of makes it cute, so that's the basis of that. So she's kind of like Helga Cute Power, if you want to get very literal. And then we have Ivan here. Mekhanovich is how that's pronounced. Mech is like machines, and then Ovich is kind of like, to my understanding in Russian, means son of, so like son of the machines is that, and that fits his personality. He always uses machines. So yeah, that's the basic inspiration for those characters. And even though it's not really obvious in the game, Chester, I envision him to sort of be like maybe a British, if these were to ever have voice actors. I would want him to have a British sound to him. I don't know why. But anyway. Yeah, not much else to really say about the scene here, so we'll just finish it up here. Alright, so yeah, coming up here is Timmy's entrance to the mountain base. Remember, this took quite a while to get these graphics in place, but I love how it came out, so there we go. You can also see this kind of art on the game's cover of the mountain. Okay, and landing here, getting out, and here we go again. just like with the first game. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so going. Coordinate display, not much to say, just basic item of the game. And then we have the teleporters. Unlike the first game, there's more indication that you have actually activated a teleporter. And save there, yep. So, the game setting, the mountain. Just, I like the idea of a mountain setting, so that's what I decided to come up with. So a base in the mountainside led to a lot of areas with like a rocky sort of setting to them. And fighting eye guys here, pretty common enemy in both games. So we get through here. Okay. Remember, this room used to have the triple gunners and not the single gunners here, so it was a bit harder. But yeah, and originally these single gunners weren't even in the game. It was a later edition where I took the graphic and just made a single turret on them. But yeah, simpler enemy. And get around these guys. Okay. Alright, drop down here. Okay. Oops. Yeah, coming up here is a trick you can do, just hold to the right. There we go. Yeah, I don't really intend for some of that stuff, but it just happens. So I wind up leaving it in. Just discover it randomly. There's probably some that I haven't even discovered yet. And this room, there we go. Right here you want to get in the middle, jump, and get over. Okay, there we go. Another thing, this area, each sector is color-coded. In this case we have blue, in this case we have sort of like a greenish blue. Hopefully that might have helped with in navigating. This particular door, well not door, but locks, they didn't really get used in the game. So, I think the only time you would ever use this little path is if you forget to get teleporter C and have to go the long way around later in the game. We'll talk about that when we get to it. Okay. Coming up here is a sort of a reference to the first game, where there's a room with the two of these guys, and then the glass block you have to jump on. So it's a room that I know a few people had a bit of trouble with in the first game, so I made something a little similar, but I don't think it's quite as hard as the first game. So we're going to go back and reset the room. Kill this guy. There we go. Okay. Good. Yeah, so hopefully a lot of people didn't find this first section as hard as the first game's first section. Because I was going for the more progressive difficulty. Here's the intro to the Tri-Gunners. Get out of there. Yeah, so hopefully if they came off that way as like a more progressive difficulty than kind of tough, like all around. But yeah. And then we have our first boss, the nice golem coming up. So what can we say about this guy before we go in? Well, I guess we'll just go in and fight. Yeah, I like the idea of a rock monster, just because, you know, you're in a rocky setting, so. And originally he was going to be like a small sprite that was proposed to me, but wound up going with the bigger graphic. And I love how it came out. Love the look of him. The name, Nice, G-N-E-I-S-S, is a real type of rock actually. I got that from a list of rocks, and I love how it had the potential for wordplay, because later his bigger brother, the Nasty Golem in Special Stage 1, has that pun on it. Originally, it was going to be called the Hornfels Golem, like that. I like kind of like the look of that name, but ultimately, I changed my mind and then went with Nice because it was better, in my opinion. Okay, so we're coming up on the cave area, just like the first game. Have like two big areas, like the main base and then the like other area. So the first game it was like the rocky area, caves, and then fortress. This case it was the mountain base and the cave system. Anyway, I kind of got ahead of myself here. So we got the pickaxe chucks here, one of my favorite enemies in the game. Love how they look in the artwork in the manual. Armin, who did the cutscenes, also did all the manual artwork, so yeah, love that style. And then here, the Sklungy, as it's called. Let's get rid of that guy, and then we'll continue. Alright, so let's just get through here. Avoid this, okay. This room used to be a little harder. There's one more thing of rock where I'm jumping above the conveyor belt, so it was a bit harder to dodge the ball, so I took that out to make it easier. I'm gonna quiet for this room. Okay, and then here we got our easy way to do this is like this. Oops, I missed. Oh well. Yeah, I'm doing a very hard run, so I'm being extra cautious. And like the first room, you can bypass this guy pretty easily, like that. Okay. And we will save. Okay, drop down here. So, I'm doing this a bad way. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is the way I normally do it, just avoid. You can actually kill him if you want to, but I choose not to. Okay, get through here. So. Alright. Good. This room. Okay, this jump used to be a little harder. This block was one unit higher, so sometimes I had missed the mark, and yeah, so I lowered it. Easier to make the jump that way. Here's eye guys. There used to be 4 eye guys in this room. Speaking of which, that reminds me. One thing the first game, a limitation was built into it, was that there was only 3 enemies allowed in a room. With the disappearing blocks, I had to make some special code to have multiple ones. But in this game's case, you can have up to 8. Let's open up B. We don't have to actually open it now, but whatever, we're doing it. Okay, and then we're gonna go underwater. There's one way you can bypass the room. Here, oops, yeah. Okay. Yeah, these turn of the zigzag Xanders, an enemy that got introduced pretty late in Battle Kit 1. But yeah, unlike the first game, their movement looks a bit more like an arc. And they're actually animated in this game. Their heads move back and forth like real fish. So just a little improvement with the second game. And then we have Roundabout Urchin, as they're called. I had the graphics, like a similar graphic for the first game, and wound up not getting used, but then we took it and then made it into an urchin for this game. Here you just want to wait a little bit. Okay. Okay. Oh, that was almost, yeah. What am I doing? Yes, I don't know. Anyway, up here, like to tease the players, you know, it's shiny, but it will not be yours, at least not yet. Okay. Then sludge, idea I had pretty early. Just, I like the idea of a different kind of liquid, hard to move in, so that's what I came up with. And then hopefully one of the more popular items in the game, the wall grip. So plays a big role in the game. The controls of this, what can I say? Some people said maybe it felt a little awkward at first, where if you're holding the A button, you can't actually grab onto the wall. And the reason I did that, I'll show you, is this option where if you turn it on, then you can actually do the original way the wall grip was working. And the problem with that was, like, you would, it was hard to climb the walls quickly. Like, you'd have to jump and then press into the wall, like hold jump and then left. Whereas I like the idea of you're just holding left and then you jump and then you control it that way, because I'll show you what I mean. Like if you're holding left like this, he climbs very slowly, whereas if you do this, it's you can go a lot faster up the wall, and as well as down the wall. It feels a lot easier to do, so that's why I ultimately did it that way. Anyway, let's go into the sewer area now. Okay. So, yeah, if you drop down, then you're kind of teased, with the 3 key. This is hopefully something people made a mental note. Okay, there's lots of 3 key doors spread out throughout the area, so you have to come back here later. So yeah, sludge definitely comes into play with making it difficult to avoid certain hazards because you're moving slower. Here we have the turbines, replacing the fans from the first game. Also on even on easy difficulty, if you get sucked into one of those, you are killed instantly. And this was an idea I came up with, having it so if you're gripped to the wall, you will not actually be pulled. Okay. First area is not too bad, I think. Yeah, simple little jump to end that, and there we go. Okay, on to area 2. Return of the immortal jellies. So, and then we're gonna get rid of these guys. Actually, I'm gonna reset the room. There we go. Do this the right way. I said do this the right way. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, unlike the first game, they can actually climb on the walls and the ceiling in the second game. So that behavior comes into play throughout the sewers, as well as other areas in the game. Okay. Down here, they're colored pink. Too, because they kind of match with the background with the green color, so that's why I had them be a different color while down in the sludge here. Time, and then get rid of this guy. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that room's just nerves. As long as you keep moving, you're fine. And then, I showed it the entrance, but I should have gone. Oh well. The shard, actually, the way to get it used to be here. This used to be wide open, and the problem with that is you'd have to backtrack through a lot of the sewers just to get to the shard, and that ultimately I felt was way too annoying, especially considering that I've decided to make the shards mandatory. So I changed that. The actual rooms that lead to the shard are the same, but just the position of where you entered that area was in here. And yeah, also escaping from that area to get to the save point, you have to backtrack through a few of these rooms just to get to this save point here, and then even then you'd have to go all the way through the third section of the sewers again just to get out, and yeah, that was too much, I felt. Anyway, I just killed Queeks. They got introduced here. They were originally introduced later in the sewers, but I put them here so you got an idea of how they worked, so that way you weren't caught off guard later. There. Okay. Talk a bit more about them when we get to the room they were originally in. 7 turrets. Okay. Just gonna be quiet for a moment. Okay, this room, this is where they originally were introduced. Actually, what am I doing? Okay. There we go. Yeah, and I really didn't think much of these enemies at the time. I mean, I like the rat gunners, but once I got the manual artwork for these guys, I just loved the design of them, and as a result, they're actually featured on the game's cover. So that's one way you can get through that room. You don't have to actually shoot that guy, you can kind of sneak behind him like I was originally doing there. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. A little patient here, and there we go. Okay, coming up on the second boss, Vertigrime. That name comes from verdigris, which is a shade of green. Kind of like the Statue of Liberty is the same shade. And of course I changed the word a little bit, just to have that sort of pun to it with the grime, because he's a grimy, slimy sludge monster. Yeah, pretty simple fight. I like the idea, because a lot of bosses, you have to get to a point high up to hit them, and I like the idea of having to get, like, sort of the opposite, get down into something to actually get at them. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm doing this kind of the silly way now. Okay, there we go. Just... Okay, there we go. Yeah, not too bad, I think. He also didn't really have that, like, you know, defeated face. He just sort of stood there and then melted. So I threw that in later. Alright, and then here we'll get our map. If you actually try to bypass the map, then this happens. I made it mandatory because there's a story element that uses the map later on the final area. You get a map there too. So, and besides, why wouldn't you want the map? You know, it's the map. Maps are useful. Okay, so we're gonna let's see, we're gonna head out here, and then we're gonna get our thing that I teased you with. This actually wasn't here originally. It was in a different area of the caves, so you didn't really get this until, or sorry, you weren't able to get this until much later in the game. But I wanted to get these into your mind early, so that way people had the idea. Pretty good. Okay. So yeah, they are mandatory. They're actually you actually can skip that shard, and there actually is a very bad ending of the game if you have 0 shards when you enter the command post. I won't actually spoil it here, but if you want to try it, I recommend trying it to see what happens. Because yeah, basically there's the 0 shard ending, the 1 to 6 shard, and then the 7 shard where you of course proceed with the story. So anyway, we gotta backtrack through the caves. Okay. Now, fork in the road from earlier, we can now go up. And our good old disappearing blocks. So, pretty easy patterns. Around the circle. Yeah, I don't really know why I made this this room dark. Yeah, oh well, whatever. Not dark, but just black. Kind of look like a strange transition, but anyway, I'm dwelling on that. Okay, so yeah, oh yeah, and then ice. I was completely lost about what I was talking about. Yeah, ice was one of the things that took a little while to get right. It wasn't too hard to make, but it just took some time to get that slide to feel right. And then I had this idea pretty early to give the disappearing blocks the ice surfaces, and then later the conveyor surfaces. There was even a time when I was going to have a disappearing wall gripper, but I did not put that in the game. Mainly, oops, what am I doing? Yeah, there we go, that's how you want to do it. Shield yourself. You actually can clear this room without, if you rush, you can actually get up there without shielding yourself, but that's the intended way to do it. Okay. Well, yeah, going back to the disappearing wall grippers, it would have required some special code to probably say whether or not there's actually a wall grip where you're in your vicinity, and I just decided not to do it. But yeah, talking about the ice again, yeah, just the sliding, just wanted to get that feel down to it, so yeah, I'm just sliding around. Anyway, let's go up. This section's a little tough. Here, you just want to kill the guy from up here. Alright, be patient. Okay, and here you cannot wait there, you must go once you enter. And let's see here. Wanna wait till they hit the wall, and then there you go. Ah, yeah, more of these guys, okay. Only one shot? I can do more than that. Yeah, I'm doing this the safe way. Sometimes I like to get up there and like I can get all 6 shots in, but we're being safe here. There we go. A little tricky this room. I'm gonna quiet for a moment. Oh, I can't believe it. Well, guess we had to start somewhere. Okay, well, round 2. Alright, let's just get through this. Okay. Alright. Maybe I'll do what I was talking about earlier. Oh, hey, I actually got it. Okay, so let's just get through this. Yeah, make sure to stop yourself with the jumping on the ice there. Because, yeah, you can pull yourself out of a slide with a jump. And in this last room, it was originally set so you couldn't actually kill that guy. I don't know what I was thinking. Alright. Anyway, let's go in, and let's have our fight with our first antagonist. Alright, so yeah, I like the idea of having more interaction with the antagonist, something that really doesn't happen at all in the first game. In fact, there's no interaction at all in the first game until the very end. So yeah, I like the idea of having some a little bit more difficult fights, kind of like you know, decisive battles, if you will. with the different fight music. By the way, the fight music is one of my favorite tracks in the game. I had a lot of fun putting that together. And so this fight, kind of tough, but I like how it came out. It didn't feel like so tough that you know, like kind of not like Cleo territory in the first game. Just you know, take some patience, and then you whittle them down, then you'll get them. Yes, maybe there's only one thing I would ever change is maybe have the little things that you have to shoot, which are coming right here. Maybe have them be a little weaker, but I don't know. Other than that, yeah, you just gotta watch the icicles, and then time your shots, and then you'll get them down. The split shot actually wasn't too tough to make either. Just you just to make an aiming bullet, and then once it aims at you, add some degrees to the angle that it's shooting. And there you go. That makes a split shot. Yeah, I figured I was going to get him pretty soon, so... Alright. So yeah, the fight was pretty fun to make. And then the walls, of course, have to crumble so you can escape. Okay, so... Of course, save, because after every fight, saving is good. And we'll get key number 1 here. So, oh yeah, and unlike the first game, it actually describes what you need to do with the key. It just says, you know, destroys 1 blocks in the first game, but this one says shoot them to destroy them. So yeah, that actually led to some people stumbling on the secret area in the sky base in the first game. They thought maybe they have to jump on the blocks or something, but no, you have to shoot them. Alright. So there we go. And now we'll backtrack into the main base. So if you like if you look here, then this actually will take you back to the very beginning of the game, so it's a shortcut. And then some fancy schmancy dodging there. So yeah, I just needed a little area to get you to the haunted shrine. You can actually rush this, but I just killed the guys, whatever. Here we're gonna rush this, yep. Okay, drop down. The easiest way to do this is just get above the blocks like this, and then push in, and then sort of hold down and jump, and then you can shoot like this. Well, as I completely missed doing it. Okay, same thing with this side. When I was talking about the wall grip controls, that was actually very difficult to do it that way with the original controls, but with the new ones it became easier. So you don't have to go this way, but I'll just do it. So your entrance to the end here, just like with the first game, the 6 portraits, and then a portal opens up when you have all 6. So go to one of the coming up here is one of the tougher areas. Yeah, the conveyors. Yeah, and then Return of the Orbit drones. Unlike the first game, they're a lot more versatile with what can be done with them. Like they can have different speeds in this game, different radii, and what else? And their movement looks a lot more circular in this game too, so I took the time to really calculate some of those things. That's the easiest way to get through, is just wait and go. And drop down, okay. There we go. Okay, and then coming up here, formation, kind of like the fire sticks in Mario. Just have 3 objects with different radii, all moving at the same speed, so the way the math works, it has that replicated spinning look. Anyway. Oops, yeah, oh well. Now we can go, okay. Okay, here you just want to drop on the ice and let the slide carry you between the gap there. This used to have four of these guys in the room instead of 3. Not sure. Alright, and then the final room. Yeah. The safer thing to do would be to get on that block and wait for the last guy. Just went for it. So yeah. And then make sure to open teleporter D. Very important. Yeah, D and C. I forgot to talk about that one, about C. You definitely want to open C so you can take a shortcut later. Here I give you a 3-way path so you can get a nice look at the area to come later, but you're not going through here until much later in the game. Anyway, now we're coming up on the Haunted Shrine. This music track was actually the first new song that I finished for the game. I had a few tracks started, but this was the one I actually finished first. So, and then this enemy here, actually both of them, the Spirit Conjurer and the Stalking Spirits, were ideas for the sprite ideas for the first game, but did not get used. I had like no idea how I would use them, so eventually I looked through the old graphics and then like, oh hey, maybe that could work for this area, so that's what we wound up using. So yeah, I like the idea of you know, one enemy's life being bound to the other. Okay, I'm gonna quiet for a moment. Okay. So yeah, here you want to get them to be overlapping each other so that way they're not spread out and harder to dodge. Okay. Oops, there we go. Oh no, 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 no. Oh, really? Okay. Ah. Oh well. As long as we don't lose too many early in the game, then I am confident I will finish. And yeah, I have to actually attack. Wow, what am I doing? Yeah, I have to actually attack the guy. Thank you, okay. Okay, okay. Oh yeah, I guess I didn't really mention it. I guess I have a second chance. This little room, nothing special. I had to shift this area over 1 unit to the right on the map, so I needed a filler room, so that's why that, you know, kind of awkward, easy room. Okay. Okay, now we're back. There we go, that's what really happened the first time. Okay. Remember, this room used to be a lot harder. It's hard to describe it on the camera, but like these double spear things were put in a much more obnoxious location, so, and you only had about like a small unit of room to move on. Alright, coming up here, Sector 2. So the guys I just killed, called Toskuth, which are flying skulls, and the name comes from the Japanese word tokots, which means skull. So I just took the letters and then made a variant of that. Oh, yeah, I almost thought he was going to shoot under my feet. These guys, yeah. Rune specters, as they're called. So, an idea of an enemy, quote-unquote, helping and then trying to hurt you at the same time. This room, by the way, is one of the few instances where there's actually 3 unique enemies in the game in a room. The spirit, though, he's brown instead of the blue because of the palette limits. Anyway. Yeah, it's generally only 2 types of enemies per room. Here's a little weird thing you can do. You can he gets that block first. The way it's coded is that it only detects a block being hit with the center point of the Rune Spectre's bullet, so that's why it kind of goes through. Oops. Oh well. Oh, that was close. This room, there used to just be solid wall here instead of the wall grip. And the problem is, if you killed this guy and did not destroy the block, you could actually get stuck here, and there would be no way to get out. So you'd have no choice but to reset. So we couldn't have that. Coming up here, you just want to get as many shots in as you can. There we go. And here, I'm gonna quiet. Okay. Yeah, room of a lot of patience. So yeah, they might seem threatening fast, but they're just as deadly slow. Okay, good. Alright, good, now on to Sector 3. Okay, here's a gimmick that doesn't come into play too often, but multiple spirit conjurers. You have to kill all of them to get rid of the spirits. Here's the Satan's version of Breakout. Yeah, this was just, like I said, Satan's version of Breakout. You have to. The key thing is make sure that the block in the very leftmost does not get destroyed. Otherwise, you'd have to do a very funky jump to get up to the top there. You can do it, but it's just don't get the block destroyed in the first place, and you can do it a lot easier. Okay. Gonna quiet. Okay. So, and again, a nice illusion. 3 blocks. And then the thunder. Like the idea of having a thunder to introduce the end of the area. So, this boss, named Hantai Ramos, is the pronunciation. Originally it was called the Polarity Spectre. And so the name, I wanted to give him a name, and so that name is in Japanese, and it means like opposite spirit, or like opposite ghost, like Hantai is opposite, and then Rei is like ghost spirit. Alright, oops, so we're fighting him here. And then the most is just a thing I stuck on there to make it kind of sound ghostly. Oh yeah, this fight used to be a lot more complicated than it was, or like conceptually more complicated. I like had ideas, but even I couldn't figure it out, so how could I expect a player to figure it out? So ultimately I simplified it with the orb here. Like there were going to be like really crazy things, like if he's in a certain region of the room, then he can only be hurt, and yeah, if it sounds complicated to you, it was too complicated to me too. So yeah, but yeah, pretty easy fight as long as you know which ways to get at him with the 3 attacks. Of course, if he touches an orb when he's the same color, then he gets powered up. Alright, so Feather Fall, returning item for the first game. And then we're going to transition down here into the caves. Yeah, not much to say about this little area, just needed something to get you back to the main base. I missed my shot, okay. Actually, why am I killing this guy? You don't even have to do that. There we go. Okay. Alright, and pretty soon we will be on a hunt for the sludge. This is the only teleporter in the game that's technically mandatory, but we want to go to teleporter C. So if you did not open that, you would have to walk back the long way. Okay. So yeah, now it's a bit of a, well, what can I say? Like, we have to get the sludge. That's what we have to do. There we go. Sneak by this guy. Final room, just a bit tricky, but not too bad. There we go. So we again get introduced to sludge. And then this is a gimmick that was in the game for a while, but I finally introduced it here, the conveyor belt under sludge. You'll be frozen in place if you're walking against the conveyor belt. Even though it doesn't, I think the only place you might actually see it is in Special Stage 3, but there's also ice under sludge, but there's not really much of a mechanic for that. Oops. There we go. Just kind of get out on the edge here and then bait these guys, okay. Like your slide on the ice under sludge is greatly diminished. Okay. Alright, so and our purple Queeks enemies. There we go. And you want to get this guy from the side over here. I think originally I had it so you had to be on the conveyor belt and attacking him, but that was just too annoying, so I gave you that area over there to shoot him from. Alright, get through these. Get between these, okay. Oh! Wow. I guess don't get between those. Wow, I don't think I've ever done that before. That's like not even the hardest room in this area. Oh well. Ah. Okay, now we're gonna get back there. We're gonna get back there. We're gonna do it this time. We're gonna do it this time. We're gonna do it this time. There we go. That's what really happened the first time. Okay. Alright, and then the final section here. Remember, that jump was actually harder before too. Yeah. I think the ceiling was lower, so you had the possibility of hitting your head, which would make you miss the jump, so I had to fix that. And our very slow orbit drones. And he has the ultimate shield here. No, I guess it's not that ultimate. I didn't want to make the conveyor belts under sludge a big part of this area, only because you have to tap the button and that can get tiring. So yeah, we have our X sludge now, so water now, our sludge now behaves like water. Like the way it's coded in the game is it checks if you have the X sludge, and if not, then your speed is halved. And if so, then it just behaves like water, just with a different different jump sound. Okay. Let's make our way back. This is much easier now that we're fast. Here, you just want to deal with the top guy. You don't have to worry about the lower one. Okay. There we go. Just bait these guys. Oops. Good enough. Okay. Drop down, save up. And let's go back. Oops. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that room's a little mean actually when you're going back, because the guy is like right there shooting at you, so. But it is the first room, so you're right next to the safe. Alright, here. You have to patiently kill this guy. Remember, the little walkway he's on used to only be 3 units across, like it stopped here instead of 4. And it was really hard to get rid of him, so I had to fix that. Okay. Pulling back's really not too bad, especially, well, this is really not too bad because you don't have to avoid anything. Alright, so we'll save up here. Caves. Okay. So yeah, that's where the only part where it's actually mandatory to use it, but hey, you use it. And then I kind of talked about it earlier. This is where the shard originally was. This used to be an open wall, and then there was an area where you get it. But I wanted to put that in the player's mind early to actually get the shards, and then as opposed to doing it a little later, but whatever. Okay. Come on. Thank you. Okay, coming up here. This next room, I'll show you a real easy way to do it. Wait a little bit and then go. Here we want to rush. Get between these guys. Okay. Here you want to wait. Oops, but not that long. There we go. This is kind of an awkward room. Like, just the way it looks is all. I don't know what I was thinking for this one, but whatever. Could have just used turrets instead of the urchins, but whatever. Here. Yeah, this one's probably one of the trickier ones, but yeah, there we go. Just make sure you kill like the last of the fish. That way you'll have enough time to get over there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this room's about nerves. Alright, coming up, we're going to be entering the Aquatic base, so before we do that, there used to be a teleporter F, which was like in the room above here, I think, and what was I going to say? I took that out of the game, only because I reorganized some places in the map, mainly to do with the Orexium shards, which we'll have to be collecting later, but what was I going to say? Oh, I'll just enter the area. If it comes to me, I'll say it. So yeah, this area, this song was actually one of the last songs written for the game. And also the tile set, I think, was the last one. No, it was the last one, actually. Yeah, we had the other tile sets, but this was the last one designed. Alright, so good old water area. Okay, that's the fast way to do that room. Coming up here, the jellyfish, or Tryphozoa, as they're called. The name comes from Scyphozoa, which is the actual like scientific name for a jellyfish. So, and then I changed it to have try, because their bullets move 3 times. Okay, let's go. Sector 2, kind of tough sector. Okay, here. Oops. Yeah, just go, go, go. You're safe up here. You're also safe down here. But you're not safe here because you want to kill that guy. There we go. Okay, this one's a little... Yeah, just have to bait those shots. Oops, yeah, here we wanna go up there. And bait this guy when he comes. There we go. Ah, yes, the triple turbine room, a little tricky. Ah. Okay. Here. And finally... Alright, on to Sector 3. Okay, so I was talking about the teleporters earlier. The original location for the shard, like we have this big wall over here, this used to be wide open and go up, like up to the right, or sorry, like up. Here, I'll show you. Like on the map, it would continue going up. But if you look to the left where the X, that's where the boss is, and then that's where the rooms are. Like they go up that way. So I had the shard going up, and then the problem with that is that you'd have to backtrack to this area, and not only that, once you left, you then had to not only go through there, but then go to the left like I'm doing right now, and then backtrack through all of this too, and that was just too much for the shard, so I ultimately modified the area to be at an easier to get location. Okay, this room. So with these, here we're gonna reset it. You have to watch their arc, and then like stand in the areas where their arc is, like where they're not going to be, basically the arc, like right here. And here you wanna wait for the third fish and then go. Kill the third fish and then go. Okay. Okay, and then this room we want to rush down and get rid of that guy. Yeah, not too many aquatic creatures in this game like the first game. Just the jellyfish and the urchins and so forth, but oh well. No cyclops squids in this game. Alright, this final room. So again, you need to watch the arches. Then wait, and then go. Okay. Okay, and then... Alright, next boss. Lobster Bot. Name kind of like from Owlbot from the first game, so like another robotic animal. Originally I was even thinking of having there would be two of these guys instead of just one, because it's a small sprite, but I ultimately, of course, did not do that, just made the one guy. So, yeah, I like how this guy came out. The graphics and all that. Oh wow, he's not doing his back shots yet. Oh, now he is. So yeah, definitely easier than Ivan from before. Oh wow, that was easy. So yeah, after Ivan I wanted to give you just a little bit of a break boss. Okay. Yeah, I figured I'd get him on my first try. Yeah, not much else to really say about that boss, just simple idea, but I liked it. Alright, and then if you of course go up, like I was talking about, you had the entrance to this shard area. I think this room was flipped. Like if you look at the map, it kind of goes in a backward C shape. So yeah, I think these rooms were flipped, and then I flipped them to fit in with the new location. So yeah, let's go and get key 2. Okay. And just a little backtrack through here. Kill them at the same time, almost. Okay. Float over there instead of a more difficult jump. Save and teleport to E. Alright, the ice caves. This particular area's song was written in 2002, and then I brought it back for this game, so this is of course technically the first song written, although back then, obviously, it wasn't intended for this game. It was just a song I made. But and it's also a bit longer than most of the area songs. So, kind of like with Battle Kid 1, there were a few songs written from 2002 that I revived and put into the game. Okay. And then one of the, shall we say, signature enemies of this, the Yetis. So, they're good old ice blocks. I was trying to think, like, what could I do with the Yetis? I was gonna maybe have them do like kind of an earthquake sort of thing where you get stunned for a moment, but like, nah, that's not good. So we came up with the ice. I came up with the ice blocks, and then because it's a cave area, I brought back the pickaxe chucks for here. Actually, okay. And then I think one of the last regular enemies that got put in the game, the polar bears, or frost kumas as they're called. Kuma is Japanese for bear. So they're kind of like the pink colormancers in the first game with the wavy shot. But not quite as tough because they only take 4 shots to kill instead of 6. Speaking on that note, pickaxe chucks have 6 hit points, but they used to take 8 shots to kill. Made them weaker, because yeah, there was not really a reason to have them be that strong. Yetis, on the other hand, do have 8 hit points. Okay, here you just wanna... Okay. Then you can stand here, the block will go right over you. And that's it for Sector 1. Alright, Sector 2. Yeah, with the bounce on the one wall there, it'll break before you get down, and then... Okay. Yeah, being a little quiet for now. This area is kind of tough. So this, there's kind of like a rhythm with the block. It goes chink, 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 chink. So that's how I... And yeah, I think some people miss this up here, though, where I'm standing. You can shoot him from here. Yeah. So yeah, make sure to watch your terrain, because there might be something there to make your life easier. This was originally just an empty room. So I think I had... Let me just pull up the map here for a moment. I think I had a little something under Teleporter E, which I was going to have like an Erexium Shard be somewhere in the middle of the ice caves, but ultimately got moved. And then these icicles, they're actually not even depicted in the manual. Something I threw in the game. And if I remember correctly, they only appear in 2 screens. So, yeah, just something I threw in just to throw in. Wait for the 3rd wave and then go. Wait for the block to hit and then go. This is a little tricky. So yeah, as long as his foot is overlapping, then he'll be on top of the blocks no matter what. And then, oh yeah, I didn't really talk about these, the spike crushers. I originally wasn't gonna even put those in the game, but I changed my mind. And then this game has what we have in this room, the double, like the spikes on all sides, so they can move both vertically and horizontally. Alright, so now we're going into Sector 3. So this one has a little change of scenery too. Yeah, I don't really... I kind of wish I did that with a few more areas. Maybe have like a little different scenery for the sectors, but whatever. And yeah, this was the other room with the icicles. Oh wait, here's an easier way to do this. There we go. Whoa, yeah, get out of that hole there. Okay, so more spike crushers. Okay. Yeah, this is just about patience, this room. Be patient and you shall persevere. Whoa. Okay. More fun with Yetis, where... Yeah, just... Okay. And then just jump to make sure you don't hit his block instead of him. Alright. Again, just watch for the safe spots. Okay. Okay. The final room, you just want to glide and then let go of the feather once you get to the rock down there. Okay. And we cannot jump up here just yet, but we will be going there very soon. So, yes, we have Cleo the Snowman. So, I was actually going to have one of Zed too, but I couldn't get his head to look really good on top of a snowman. But anyway. So, next boss, we have Misha, the penguin, or like the half penguin, half blue jay, as it says in the manual. Like he has that sort of aggressive attitude of a blue jay, but has his penguin features. So, the original graphics for this guy had a slightly different face. You can actually see it in the art book if you have it. Whoa. But yeah. This is actually the first boss in Battle Kid that actually walks too. Most of them always just move by jumping. Whoa. Aw, really? Oh, okay, we can deal with that. Yeah, generally... Wow! Okay, we need to focus here. This boss really is not that hard, I think. There we go. Yeah, you just have to watch his body language, or so to speak. There we go. That's... And yeah, wasn't sure how to have him finish, so like, oh well, just have him fall over and fade out. You know, that worked. So, double jump. And one thing that used to be in the game was like the jump counter, but I took that out because I guess people said it was too distracting. So here, you make sure that you get this now, because otherwise you have to backtrack here later, and that's too annoying. So we're playing Simon. if you lose him, this is a nice message for you. I almost thought I was going to lose it a moment there. Alright, so yeah, 2 of 7. By the way, if you actually, there's a, like the cutscene when you collect the first shard, it doesn't matter which of the first shards, which shard is the first, but like if that one was the first shard that you collected, then it would play the cutscene there instead of in the caves. So, anyway. Let's just get out here. Yeah, I like these crystals in the background too. Okay. So here's what looks like the entrance to an evil area, but in fact it's the exits. Of course, if you forget the shard, then it can then become a better entrance, as opposed to backtracking through the entire area. So to go to the next area, the power station, I usually go this way. I find it's the easiest to backtrack through. Oops. Wow, what was I doing there? And just run past these guys. And this is what I was talking about. You can really climb the walls fast. Yeah, might as well just be 100% safe. If you, I was gonna say, no, never mind. I was thinking about something else. Okay. Ah, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. Teleporter D can save you a little time here. Otherwise you'd have to go out and climb the wall. We're in the open area, the big open area. Okay. Alright, yeah, just a small bit of enemies, but nothing too much. And then now, last section, the electric area. Wow. So let's save here. And then you know that it's going to be a tricky area when you start with the boss. Yes. So yeah, if you thought the intro was easy, as Timmy certainly does in the cutscene, you'll be in for a surprise. Alright, jetzt ist es Zeit zu sterben, now it is time to die. So yeah, this fight, definitely a bit harder. But people did say they like it, so that's good. Ah. Really? Yeah, it's the problem with the randomizers. It's another small bit of information is that really? Okay. Anyway, the small bit of information I was talking about in the background, it writes Helga's name in katakana. Yeah, I'm being quiet. Okay, there we go. Good, good, good. So, not much to really say about the final cutscene here. Just you wait, and everything's all the way. Okay, anyway, you definitely want to go save. Alright, let's get through this. So, electric area, I had the graphics and song for this fairly early, but I didn't really work too much on the area until I wanted the areas like to be done in order, so alright. Anyway, let's get across. And then finally, the return of the stalker drones. So that's one thing about this area, is that majority of the enemies are something like mechanical or robotic in some way. Here you want the to use the conveyor to what was I gonna say? To carry you across like that. There we go. Wow. Okay. Here you just want to go right away. Alright, and then coming up, the good old electric beams. So we're gonna rush to this. Oops. And trust me, these were much harder originally. Okay, so that's it for Sector 1. Now, this is the last of the regular enemies. Introduced the Volt Spheres. Just something I thought, oh well, just have another guy following you. So, I guess kind of contradicting what I said before, they're not really mechanical, but now they're electrical at least. This one's a little tricky. Ah, missed my mark. Nope. Yep. And that's what got seen earlier. We are now on the other side. Ah! Wow, that could have been bad. Okay, we're gonna rush you. This last one, I think, once they all trigger at the end, it can kind of surprise someone. But anyway, here we go. Okay. Now, let's see, Sector 3. So, a little bit like the Hall of the Colormancers in that we have that, you know, nasty gimmick, and then at the third section, use it many times, so. Colormancers, it was the disappearing spikes, but in this case, the electric beams. Alright, we're gonna rush through this real quick. Oh, I remember this is where you go to get one of the shards, and then little jump there. It's 2 units across. It used to be 1 unit across, and it was really hard to make that, so definitely had to give the players some leeway. Here, you just want to rush to the next room. And next time we will not do that, that's for sure. Okay. Next phase. Alright. Okay. Now let's do this the right way. This room, you do not want to use your feather fall. Here, bit of a yes. Okay. Next, oh yeah, this room. Okay. So. Alright, and then next room, again, let me just look, this one, okay. Again, don't use your feather fall. Alright, let's get to the final room. There we go. Alright, now, coming up, everyone's favorite boss, the Doppelganger Constructor. So, what can we say before going in? Let me see, this boss. It was something I had an idea for, you know, clone boss, but, you know, I like the idea of you getting swarmed because of the one-hit gimmick that would work perfectly with the clones swarming you and then getting you. If you play on easy difficulty, they still have one hit, but they're just colored sort of like purplish with red hair. But so anyway, we start very simple, you know, very mindless clone. Anyway, the machine like realizes that you know, it's one is not good enough. Actually, what am I doing? I'm doing this the stupid way. Okay. The floor spikes, if you actually were stay in the corner and time your shots right, you could actually sort of get through this fight a bit easier, but that's why we had to do something to prevent that. Right here you want to feather, you want to be on the right side. So yeah, it's just you know, kind of remembering where they are going to spawn, then it becomes easier. Here you want to be up here. Double jump, they're gonna land in the middle, get them before they get there, and then okay. This you want to make sure they both go out the same way. Otherwise it's a bit harder. Okay. And now we have Big Timmy. That's his name, Big Timmy. I was hoping people would laugh at this when they saw it just because of the graphics, but I think by the time they got to this they were not so happy with the earlier fight. So yeah, I probably could have made this fight a bit shorter, or maybe if you get to Big Timmy, have it so like if you restart, you fight Big Timmy instead of the clones again, but oh well. I guess lesson learned. So yes, just a reminder, hey, you have key 3, so you should go do stuff with it. Okay, go here. It's down, and then now we're in a hunt for energy. So let's see, what shard should I get first? Guess we'll go here first. Oh, we were just there, so why not stay there? So this one, you have to do. This is the most of the backtracking that you have to do, because I was saying earlier to get some of these shards, you had to do some backtracking. But, or like originally you'd do a lot more backtracking than what I make you do in the final game. So. Oops. Okay. So next we have, well, we have to get there first, never mind. Okay, so it's called Binary Zap Game in the game. So it's a game in a game. So this was originally a lot harder too, but, or potentially harder I should say. So yeah, just stay where there are zeros. In some cases you don't have to move at all. In this case we do. pausing was disabled, so you can't actually like stop and then look at it. You have to do this in real time. Oh, that was easy. Okay. And by the way, just a small bug, but in the game, pausing actually does not get re-enabled until you leave the room. So, not that you would need to pause at that point, but just a small note. And this, of course, connects to the haunted shrine, but there's nothing there for you. You just want to go straight down, as the nice cloudy arrow tells you. Okay, so that's one shard. Yes, now we will go to what is, in my opinion, the most difficult of these. We want to go to the Aqua base. So this is where I mentioned earlier about backtracking. You don't have to kill him, but I'm killing him anyway. Earlier with this room had the 4 eye guys in it. So yeah, it was a bit too hard to backtrack through here. Okay. Yeah, make sure you do that first. Actually, what am I doing? Yeah, that's right, you want to kill this guy, that's what you want to do. There we go, yeah. I don't know what I was thinking the first time there, okay. And here with our endless supply of yellowfish. Here we go. And just watch the arcs. Sand in the safe zones. A little tricky, but not too bad. Oh, wait. Okay. Oh, really? Really? Oh, man. Okay. That's like the easiest of the rooms in this area. There we go. Alright, 4 of 7. Okay. Yeah, unlike the sludge, if you're in the water, the turbines, they can't actually force you to move. You can just stay in place. So here, like I was saying, watch the arcs. Okay, there we go. This is a little tricky to get through. Gosh. Oh, we gotta hit our mark there, come on. There we go. Okay, and then this, you want to now go and then avoid the conveyor belts. And finally. Okay, we're home free. And make sure to save right here. Do the sewer one next. That's probably the second hardest. Okay, okay. I guess we'll just go there. We already saved, so. Okay. So this one. This one is also a little tricky. And by that, yeah. I mean, don't do that, because what was I thinking? Why would I do that? Okay. Yeah, this is what we're supposed to do, kill the guy. This room is. Okay. That's 5. Okay. Escaping is probably the most difficult part of this room. Just have to get in from behind. While being careful about the turbine. Two more hits. Worst of this is over now. Right, so let's get out of here. Okay. So we have to get the Haunted Shrine and the main base shard next. So we'll get base one first, since I can talk about a couple things in the Haunted Shrine. Because that shard has when you go to get that shard, it's actually close to the hidden area for the the double damage item. And there's a hint which is given to you if you try something. So actually, just teleport back. Okay, and save down here. Okay. So you want to go out and up and around. And by the way, I guess I should bring this up. There are these tell you where the three key doors were hidden, or not hidden, but where they were in the map. But if you get all those shards, then if you're only left with the main base shard, there's another hint for that one. So that way it's not like a complete mystery. So some people might have thought, like in the first game, you have to do a jump like this to get over there, but in reality, there's a hidden wall, grip wall here. It's a little hard to see, but the texture on this wall, when we climb up here, if you kind of look in the square above me, the texture is a little bit different than the one up top. It's not exactly the easiest to spot of hints, but you can actually see it. I'll show you in a moment here. So this is where the shard is. Okay. 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 And down here, this is where you would normally reach if you went from the lower spot, and then that same thing with the texture goes on here. Because even if you try to double jump over, you can't make it. So you get stuck to this wall, and I wanted, hopefully that put a little note in the player's minds. And over here, if you look, there's one set of things pointing that way, so the hidden wall. So this room has a hint for the damage amp, which is in the haunted shrine. So, you know, so yes, illumination, pathway, and so forth. And the other hint is the fact that this little room actually uses the haunted shrine's tile set. So, I mean, people figured it out, so that's the important thing. So let's go to the haunted shrine and get the last of the shards. So we want to go to E. And just to be safe, we might as well do this. Okay. Oops. So the last one will involve a sort of a mini game. So I wanted to have a couple of these be like mini games and a couple be actual difficult areas, so there's a nice little mix. This is one of the few rooms where you can actually kill these guys. They're not normally meant to be killed but avoided, but they of course can be, as you just saw me do. There we go, get away from him. We're back. So there's our little illumination. If you look at the map, actually, you can see two areas above. Some people might have thought of trying this, but there's nothing up here. And up here, of course, if you wait, then the block appears, but I'm going to get the shard first. So this is a math minigame, partly inspired from Futurama, actually, where they have the alien alphabets, and there's sort of the second one, which has the accumulation. So, you know, spell Orexium, and has banishment to the land of pointy things, aka spikes. So yeah, I thought maybe this was just a little vague at first, that little last, but I mean, people did figure it out. It was just maybe a little strange at first. So U, which is of course 21, and then we have O, which is 15, so 15 plus 21 is 36. Then since we went over Z, we have to subtract, and then that takes us to 10, so which is J. Then we have 10 plus R, which is 18. That's 28. Subtract, that leaves us with 2. Then we have 2 plus another R, so that's 18, so that's 20. 20 plus 5 is 25, so that's Y. In the case of Y, that's basically minus 1, so the letter before X. Yep. And then we have, what? 20. P is going to be F. Let me just, 9 plus 23 is 32 minus, yep, there we go. And then finally 6 plus 20, oh, A, yeah, that's nice and easy. And then finally 1 plus 13, and there we go. By the way, if you actually take the teleporter without getting this, you have to do the mini game over again. But yes, we have all 7 now. And the teleporter actually disables if you actually have that shard. If not, then it stays enabled. So, just a little note. Okay. So we will. I'm not actually going to play it, but I will show it to people. So, illumination comes with patience. So yes, if you are patient, then the area here illuminates. And then And the pathway will be indeed shown by illumination, which was a glass block that appears after about 5 lightning flashes, although there's a timer for it in the game. And then this is of course the entrance. If 'tis power you seek, proceed. However, so yep. I'm not actually going to play this, but a little note. In terms of location, it's actually, you can see Timmy's in the, kind of the void there. That actually is where it is positioned in terms of the map data, but it's not actually shown. Anyway, we're gonna get out of here. Okay. Alright, let's go and get out of the main area now. So we can finally go to the final area. And let you take some nice shortcuts here now that you have key 2. Here, if you were to miss your shot, you could have used the double jump, but I did not miss the shot. Okay, so we want to go to, I guess we'll just go to A to be easy. Well, I guess we might as well. We actually don't have to do it, because there's nothing fatal in our way anymore, but whatever. Just do it to do it. When I get to the room, I'll mention it. There was almost an oversight on my part, but I actually did fix it. In this room, of course, we have our guardians. I had to make a special code that once the events after here trigger, that you actually could not. If you were to go back in this room, you could actually re-enter and then do the events over again. And I obviously didn't want that. That would be a bug. So. I just prevent this room from triggering if you have already seen the events after the teleporter. So, anyway, before we go in, the 6 portraits here, except for the lower 2, the Hantai Ramos and the Doppelganger Instructor, these were all based on the artwork from the manual. So, a little bit of consistency there. Okay. Climbing. This area is the final area is tile set, by the way. So kind of wanted to imply that this is the ship, like the lower part of the ship. I was even going to have a scene where like it showed the ship actually kind of taking off from the mountain, but it just became too much, so kept it simple. So anyway, let's go in. Okay, so this is basically the same for the beginning. The end, depending on your shard count, is where it can be very. Say goodbye to your pathetics. Yes, so despite you, they're targeting your city. So this is the power core of the mega cannon, or that's what it's supposed to be anyway. So he's too weak to stop it, so he needs a power shot, because his puny shots can't cut it. He is holding his shards, or at least a shard. I was even going to have the bullet be different sizes depending on how many shards you have, but it just was too much. So there we go. I love that face on him, by the way. Timmy being his usual cocky self. By the way, on easy difficulty, the word green gets replaced with pink. Alright, prepare for liftoff. Liftoff! And then she expels you from the room here with a little wind. And it's the giant battleship which we see here. So yeah, pretty simple transition. If you were to jump up here, it would just be open. I actually think I even, just in case, like made a code to put a boss door that blocks you up there. I can't remember offhand. I probably did something like just in case, but whatever. So yeah, our objective now is the ship. It says, get back to your ship. So anyway, we can go wee. See if we can land right on our ship. Oh, look at that. Okay. So let's get out of here. Alright, and then this scene, coming up here. Yeah, I like how this came out, and I like the artwork on the battleship, how it came out. Alright. So, the game actually does a silent save here. So if you were to go and fight Ivan without saving, you would start back here. The music actually wouldn't trigger if you actually start back here. At least it wouldn't trigger right away. You'd have to go into an area. This is the escape area, so you need key 4. And by the way, if you try to jump up here, there's invisible solid blocks to prevent you from leaving. Okay. So I had some fun with the music in this area, having the 3 different tracks with like the intro only, the complete song, and then just the intro-less version, which gets played anytime you lose a life in the final area. But anyway, here we go. First fight in the final area. You again. Yes. So I don't think this fight was too tough actually. But of course I say that when I do that because I forgot about it. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this fight has a specific pattern he follows. So with the little flame there, I find it easiest to just hug the... Wow, am I really doing this badly? Okay, yeah. There we go. He goes down really fast if you have the double damage, by the way. I, of course, did not get that because I'm doing very hard and I didn't want to risk going through the Gauntlet of Evil version 2.0. So yeah, pretty patternated bosses, you just have to get their sequence down and then nothing to it. There we go. That's what happened the first time. Yeah. So, yep, cocky as always. By the way, the little LEDs in the upper left are Ivan in Morse code. So, Helga's name is written in her boss room, and Ivan's name is written in this room in some form or another. So, anyway, the music is stopped, and this cutscene is actually forced to have the intro play. It was really the only thing I could really come up with to kind of have that little transition. So yes, it's a forced cutscene, you cannot skip it, but hopefully people didn't mind because of the intro build-up. Also one of the few cutscenes where you cannot advance the text at your will, but it's pretty slow, so I think anybody can read that. And even if you jump up here, the boss door is still there. Okay. So anyway, this is my favorite of the area tracks in the game. So we have to get through and get through, okay. Wow, I'm doing badly already. Okay. I was hoping we would have gotten through all of this with a complete intro. Oh well. Why am I just waiting there? There we go. So you want to wait for the slow one to be to the right, and then make your way over, and then just bait out the crusher. There we go. Okay, just kill all 4 of these guys. And this could end badly. There we go. There we go, that's fine. So yeah. Oh, by the way, I didn't think I mentioned it, but this game actually gives another behavior to the stalker drones. They have a fast movement speed as well as the slower one. The first game only had the 1 movement speed, but anyway, okay. Alright. Okay, you can just drop her right there. There you go, no problem. And then Mr. Volt Sphere. He is no problem. I wonder if this room played some tricks on people with, you know, orbit drones going in opposite directions. I don't know. Okay. Just wait for them, and they're good. Final room, pretty simple. There we go. And first of the save points, okay. Just like with the first game, the final area uses every enemy at least once. I think with the exception of the icicles, but yeah, every enemy, like every gimmick, so. This room I remember I had the gunner drones on both sides of the room as opposed to just on the one wall here. It was tricky, I mean it was doable, but very tricky. Ghosts are here, even the spears are here, and there's really not much purpose for the spears, but other than to just use them once. Here, you want to be a little careful. Get these 2 guys to be close to each other, and then get rid of him. Okay. Oh, this room, just hurry in, and then you can kill this guy. I think some people actually try to jump over him, which is a bad idea. Actually, what am I? How do you solve this? I can't remember right offhand. That's how you solve it. Okay. Okay. Rune Specters. I tend to move away even though, just because I know how the hitbox of the bullets is just the center point and not actually the entire bullet. It was just easier to do that way, I think. Right here, you want to go over, get rid of that. Wait for him to shoot, and then go. Okay, Sector 3, water. So again, key point is right there. Oops, sorry, key point is right here, then right here, and then right under here. Okay. This room, I think some people do this a very weird way in the Let's Plays. Like, you can actually get pulled, and then they actually trigger the spike trap and then try to go for it, like behind the spike trap before it resets. And the easier thing is just let the turbine pull you, because with the turbine and the conveyor belt, you'll get through the room, because you will be moving at the exact same speed as the spike crusher, so it will not catch you. You just have to jump once you get clear. And then we have one of these guys. Okay. This room. I thought I got him. Oh well. So yeah, he's kind of disguised to look like a spike down there. Actually, what am I doing? What am I doing? I really don't know. Okay. There we go. Wait for him to turn off and then drop down. There we go. Ah, Alright, you want to wait for him to be approaching and then descend. Okay. Alright. And it's a save point, or is it? No, it's upside down. So. And the save point is red. That's the same as in the first game with the upside down and then red save point. So. Yes, your inventory has been lost, and yes, you saw it coming, or maybe if you did not play the first game, maybe you didn't see it coming. But anyway. And of course you go in, nothing happens, you can't jump and leave. Up there is Morse code for yoink. Alright. So we enter final area, part 2. Save here. So just like the first game, you had the branching paths with the save point in the middle. So in this case we want to go left to regain the feather. And to be stupid while in the process, what am I doing? Okay. There we go. So yeah, make sure to watch the little trick there, because there's 6 of these with the 2 on the right are together, so they're off sync. Okay. Stalker drones. So we then to come down here and get rid of them, and then dispatch them one more time up here, and there we go. Oh, yeah. Actually, he's really the only one you do have to kill. And that one. The other 2 you can just leave. Okay, so... And no, you cannot get up there, even with the feather. So we want to... Okay, and then make our escape. Yeah, leaving this one's pretty not that bad, I think. And we do not want to go there yet. We want to go here. So of course the return of the ice. This might be the toughest of the item regains, or in this case, item upgrades. Yeah, I made sure to make it so you can see that where the turrets are all going to stand with the architecture there. Okay. So yes, make sure to read the text box. Yep, you have a very different piece of text there. 1, 2, 3. So I thought, yeah, it would be kind of interesting to give you a different item rather than the same item back. So I thought, yeah, well, triple jump, you know, that'll work. Some people wondered if I would ever do a space jump in the game, like, or, you know, infinite jump, and I'm like, I don't know if that would be a good idea or not. Only because then you really have to start making architecture account for that. Not to mention it could make the boss battles a little different. Okay. Okay, get rid of that guy. Actually, no, just be safe. There we go. Okay, coming up, out here, the following room is pretty difficult. Okay. So yeah, this room, I don't know why I paused there. So yeah, this room we gotta be really careful. liquid is overlapping, and you will be fine. Here, just make sure 1, 2, 3. And we are clear. Wow, I'm glad I did that on my first try. Okay. Yep. And sludge. The pink sludge. Almost like Ghostbusters too. So you gotta rush that room, even though he moves so slowly. This is probably one of the few cases where the force to run in place kind of helps. Okay. There we go. That's better. Drop down. Also, the return of the being pulled by the turbines because you're in sludge. I had to make sure that this area was able to be backtracked too, because once you get your 2 items from the boss coming up, you have to go all the way back. So that's something I did a lot less of in this game, was being forced to walk back through an area. Okay. And we have the, I think, ice sniper room is coming up here. Yeah. Okay, just drop and kill him. Okay. So the final room, this is not bad if I... Yep, just make sure you're overlapping and you are fine. And coming up, this is the only regular battle in the final area. The muck swimmers, as they're called. Also, like the only like multiple part boss. So yeah, you just have to watch the bubbles. So the pattern, they do like a moving pattern and then a shooting pattern. So that's how it works. I had to do something, because originally it was all random, but I had to do something because if you got down to just one of these guys left, it could be really awkward to dodge depending on what happens. Aw, come on. They always open with a moving pattern though. Not too much to say about these guys. Wow, I did it again. They have 4 legs, not 6. So they look a bit chubbier in the game than their manual artwork would suggest. But oh well. I like how the manual art came out, so I'm not complaining too much. It was actually a little tricky to have these guys change color, because I had to make sure then I had to kind of make the graphics a little less detailed to give each one its individual palette. They only take 25 shots apiece, if I recall. There we go. Okay. Wow, I can't believe I did poor so badly on those guys. So yes, we get 2 items. I figured that would be a pretty fair, like a fair compromise, considering you have to do a boss and backtrack, so I figured why not. Actually, we're doing this the wrong way. There we go. And here we can just speed back. sure to kill the ball here. This makes this a lot easier. So even if you were to not get the X sludge, you could not get out through this room. I had to, so yes, I forced it upon you. Okay. Here, just make sure to go over here and kill the guy. Okay. Alright, don't mess up now. Okay. So this is the final run, final of the regular enemy filled areas. Yep. So also a pretty tough one. Alright. Okay, once those are gone. Okay, just get rid of him now. Wow, I thought it was going to get me. There we go. That's... What am I doing? Okay, this room. Not too bad. Alright, and then finally, return of the electric zappers. So, we gotta rush here. Coming up, I think this is probably the, in my opinion, one of the hardest, one of the hardest regular rooms in the main game, if not the hardest, because you gotta be really fast and precise. So yeah, if you have the double damage, this room does become quite a bit easier because you have that extra time. You don't have to deal with those two guys there. But anyway, alright, this room's also a little tricky, but not too bad. Come on, make it. Okay. And then this is the last one, just a couple of jumps and we're good. And the moonwalking chrome drone. So, the story behind that, when I first made the guys, I got the movement code, or rather the display code backwards, and he was moonwalking and I thought that was hilarious, so I of course fixed it and then made an option to, you know, flip it back around again, so I use that behavior here. But anyway, okay. Let's go fight our two final bosses. So, Helga, fight number 3. Timmy is persistent indeed. Yes, and arrogant. But right to D4, prepare yourself. Alright, I guess I will prepare myself. Here we go. So yeah, the charge attack is a lot different here. Yeah, you have to... Ah, come on. Oh, you're dodging everything I'm trying to do. Come on, I just want to shoot you. Oh, more of this. Okay. And even more of this. Wow. Oh! Yeah, that's the worst luck when you get 3 of those in a row where you have to do triple jumps. It's very difficult to get past. This, by the way, the little jump with the aim shot is the only one of her attacks that does not get changed for here. Okay. basically, because I mean they are the antagonists, I needed to have something. Let me finish the fight before I say what I'm going to say. There we go. Okay, I wanted to obviously have them be part of the end of the game, but I was thinking of having like a team boss at first, but I didn't really know how to do it. So I figured, well, refights could work, and so that's what I did. The line here, by the way, says "unglaublich," unbelievable. But yeah, I toyed around with some ideas, and ultimately, just what we see in the game is what I came up with. So, the battleship and its energy core protecting machine, which we'll be seeing next. This door does not open only because this boss does not actually get flagged as dead in the code, so if you were to re-enter the room, you'd have to do the fight again. So that's also why this door closes. Also in the passwords, there's no change to the password either, so. Oh. I cannot remember what the Morse code says in this room. Oh well. I guess translate it yourself. Alright, 9 lives. Will Timmy the cat make it? I hope he will. So yeah, this is the final boss of the game. Yes, Timmy being cocky. It's like this will be your third too, because you do fight each of them 3 times. Yes, that's nice, thank you. So this fight, I guess we'll start. What can I say? I've toyed around with so many ideas with this, like, what could I do for a final boss? So, like, we can't have a super mech again, so we need, like, some kind of machine. This is what we came up with in the art. And wow, I'm failing already. Okay. Yeah, unlike the super mech in the first game, you don't. If you die and respawn, the sequence is much shorter. I should have done that for the super mech in the first game, like just see its intro the first time and then make it very fast any subsequent time. Okay, this is the one attack some people don't like. Like the basic strategy is, you want to inch your way, stay on the walls, and be prepared, because just make sure you have to bait the shots. And eventually the 2 barrier towers will respawn. So I guess if there's only one thing I would have wanted is maybe just a little bit better look of the boss. I don't think it looks bad, but could have just maybe looked a little bit better. But I only had so many graphics to work with too, so. Oh, I think I'm losing my voice. Oh, that's. Okay, this will be the last wave. Power cores in red. Yeah. I guess the only other regret is maybe this isn't quite as memorable as the super mech fight. Okay. Okay, we got him. Yay. Okay, well, I'm happy I finished the run, that's for sure. So yes, and I absolutely love the graphics here. No, there's no way this would have been a licensed game just because of this back in those days. But yeah, just implies that he does not meet a very happy end. Ivan does. So. You have to get out of there now. Yes, good old escape sequence. Okay. So I'll show you one little thing. We'll get through the room here. If you actually do this, there's a message for you. I guess I didn't show the map either, but yeah. This map doesn't actually show your objectives like the main base map does too. I guess I forgot to mention that earlier. Alright, so anyway, let's get out of here. So this really isn't that difficult. You'd have to be really bad to fail this. Also, of course, there are no enemies whatsoever. I wouldn't want to... That would have been too unfair to have enemies in the escape sequence. Only because you would then have to fight the final boss again. Oops, what am I doing? Yes, what am I doing? Okay. This Morse code says freedom. I think I finally remembered what the other one said before the final boss. I think it says kill you in Morse code. That's what it was. It's been a while. Okay. Okay, and we are good. Yeah, this escape sequence music was pretty fun to write. I like how it came out, even though its only use is here. But hey, Metroid had a great escape sequence music, so there you go, and it was only used for that event. And I had to, by the way, in the main room of the ship there was a wall blocking you. So this little sequence here, yeah, it took quite a while to do. That little explosion, oh man, I remember. That was a pain to animate, but I got it. And it's only like a few frames. So, yep. The music here is actually something... It started as an intended special stage theme, but then I couldn't really think of a way to add on to it for a special stage theme, so made it the ending theme. So it worked out pretty well. Epilogue. Alright, so yeah, the game is finished. Pretty good run, not my best, but you know, I'm happy I finished it, so. And then this is, you know, the cast, just like with the first game, showing off all the enemies and bosses that you encountered. If I recall correctly, these all match the manual's color scheme. Yep, Mr. Nice Golem. Alright, so, wow, we're at the end. Closing thoughts. Guess what can I say? What can I say? Production, probably about a good 2 years, although definitely some break periods in between where I did nothing. Because it started in July and then finished, yeah, in July, as it says in the title screen. Talk about the credits here, so artists, cutscene art, big thanks to these people. Couldn't have done it without you. And then label art Hanzo, which of course does not get seen in this video, but it was a great label art. So yes, big thanks to all those people on the list there, as well as any of you who have bought the games and have supported me. I am very happy that everyone, all the kind words that everyone has given me over the years. So yeah, here's our little postlude. Originally there was going to be a big explosion, like where the ship is, but it was just too much of a... actually, no, it would have been impossible to put in because it was way too detailed. So yep, there she is in her back. So I remember storyboarding this for the Armin too. Love how this all came out as well.
me up for words I hope that I will be able to make good on. Right there, to be continued. I honestly hope it does get continued. I have not done anything since July of 2012, and it's currently December 2013. Alright, so, yep, here's our final stats. Very hard, 17. Your time actually, if you're playing on normal, or rather, if you use a password, your time actually does not get shown, only because the game does not keep track of your time in the passwords. So yeah, closing remarks. Closing remarks, what can we say? I just basically thank you all for your support over these two games. I had lots of fun making them, and I really hope that I can continue making games. Things have changed a lot, especially this year, 2013, living in Japan, and then have a full-time job as an English teacher over here. But hopefully in the near future things will settle down, and I can maybe do some more programming. I'd love to make a third Battleship game, or even a different kind of game sometime. But until then, I'm just going to say thanks again. Thank you for watching. If you stayed for the entire probably 2.5 hours, wow, it's been so long. Normally I can do a run in about 1:40, but yeah, all the stopping to talk was what ate up most of the time. But okay, thank you very much, and take care.